Hi, my name is Mel, and what I'm going to be talking about now is unbelievably is the Loch Ness Monster. And how I've come to this subject is that there are some people on the internet, creationists and others, who say that non-avian dinosaurs, which avian dinosaurs are birds and they do exist, but non-avian dinosaurs exist today, and like Loch Ness Monster is one of them. And okay, so that's why I'm talking about it, because like I'm finding that like this whole concept rather bizarre, quite honestly. So the Loch Ness Monster, which is sometimes known as Nessie, is a very famous mythical creature in Scottish folklore that is said to inhabit Loch Ness in the Scottish Highlands. So while scientific considers the monster a myth driven by misidentifications, wishful thinking, some cases hoaxes, the legend remains a massive cultural and tourist phenomenon, which, look, people can go there and look for whatever they like. I mean, I think that's important. Origins and key history. Okay, so ancient society, the earliest written record dates back to 565 CE in a biography of Saint Columba, who allegedly commanded a water beast to stop attacking a swimmer. Okay. The modern craze, 1933. Interest exploded when a new shoreline road was completed. A couple reported seeing an enormous animal cross the road and disappear into the water. Surgeon's photograph, 1934, an iconic image of a snake-like neck emerging from the water, captivating by the world. The hoax revealed in 1994. The famous 1934 photographs were proven to be an elaborate hoax. The monster was actually a plastic wooden head attached to a toy submarine. So there's common, often nonsense going on here. Some enthusiasts and others are saying it's a plesiosaur. They often describe Nessie as a surviving prehistoric marine reptile. Scientists reject this due to the Loch Ness cold temperature and limited food supply, and it wouldn't have survived all this long, quite honestly. And look, it's nonsense, all right? Giant eels, a comprehensive 2018 environmental DNA survey of the loch found no reptile DNA, but noticed a massive abundance of eel DNA. This led researchers to suggest sightings might be oversized European eels, and that could be possible. Natural misidentifications. The deep, dark waters of the loch, turned pitch black by heavy peat content, frequently cause people to misinterpret things like floating logs, boat weights, shadows, waves, or visiting seals, or anything else. Scientific searches. Multiple high-tech expeditions have scanned the lake. Notably, the Operation Deep Scan in 1987 deployed a fleet of boats with sonar across the entire lake. While it picked up a few unexplained solar anomalies and moving objects, no physical evidence of a monster has ever been found. And there's stuff you can watch this. And there's more not modern sonar searches have yielded unexplained underwater contacts, acoustic illusions, and even historical movie props, but no definitive proof of any monster. So, due to the loch's steep 23-mile long underwater cliffs and distinct temperature layers, sound waves frequently warp to create phantom sonar images. Despite these challenges, several high-profile technological expeditions have systematically scanned the depths. So BB Search in 2003, the BB sponsored a massive, highly methodological expedition using 600 satellite-navigated solar beams to map the entire loch. The search was precise enough to spot small targets, but found absolutely nothing unusual. There's the Klonsberg Marine Robot Mission, so 2016. Using autonomous underwater vehicle named Munin, marine researchers mapped underwater unvisited areas of the 230-metre deep loch bed. Instead of a monster, the high-resolution scanner discovered a 30-foot Loch Ness Monster movie prop. Okay. In 2023, the 90th anniversary hunt, coordinated by Loch Ness Exploration and the Loch Ness Centre, this massive hunt integrated multi-beam sonar with thermal imaging drones and hydrophones, while underwater microphones catches distinct noises. Investigators concluded they were likely other animals like ducks or seals or something else, or debris. Recurring cruise and commercial sonar blips. Local tour and deepwater cruise vessels filled with commercial marine electronics do frequently log anomalous blips. Commercial skippers regularly record massive, dense outlines, roughly 100 to 180 metres down. And marine biologists note that these radar signatures are almost always caused by tightly packed schools of fish, localized gas bubbles rolling, sunken debris, or some other animal. You know, and this is important that, look, I understand that, like, for a lot of the Scottish people, I want, it's a cultural thing. And I don't, but, for people to be going around claiming that it exists or some kind of dinosaur, I think is not great. So they've done, beyond just underwater acoustic and sonar searches. As I said, they've done underwater drone and other stuff. They've done biological surveying, environmental profiling, and they've looked at eyewitnesses, which are not typically all that reliable. There's zero evidence of any reptilian or dinosaur DNA. So that completely rules out any surviving plesiosaur or any other kind of non-avian dinosaur DNA, non-dinosaur living there. Ducks are obviously avian dinosaurs, and there's no exotic lard fish. So ruled out giant sharks, sturgeon, or predatory whales, catfish. There could be eels that have shown a lot of European eel DNA. That's definitely possible. There's also been limnology and wave physics research. So internal features is a lot. So the Loch Ness is a long, narrow trench lined with prevailing winds. So strong winds can push warm surface water to the end of the loch. When this wind stops, a massive volume of water sloshes back and forth deep underground. This creates an invisible underwater wave called a seach. This can violently pull heavy debris, layers, maps of vegetation against the surface wind direction, mimicking an animal swimming up. The thermal mirages. The air temperature above the loch frequently differs drastically from the cold water. So on cold days, this contrast creates a refraction layer which visually distorts and magnifies low-profile objects such as a swimming bird, otter, or floating stick, making them look bigger. So look, and I think there's been surface watches too as well that's been done. And look, I understand, I'm not trying to take away from anyone's cultural and tourist things, and I definitely think if you can and you want to visit the Loch Ness to go and see what there is to be seen, go for it. I think just to push that there's a dinosaur, non-avian dinosaur living under there, I think is ridiculous. Now, obviously there are animals in the loch, for sure, and there obviously are avian dinosaurs in terms of birds that visit and use the loch. And I mean, go and see the loch even just for the scenery. I mean, it is quite cold there, so just be careful of that. But look, I just want to, so this is sort of something that some creations are getting on to say dinosaurs, non-avian dinosaurs are still alive, which is absurd. And no, they're not. Avian dinosaurs, birds are, but non-avian dinosaurs are not. But anyway, so this is just a Loch Ness Monster, a little bit of fun, I hope. And look, just, enjoy the mythology, why not? If it, what, do your thing, and but don't take any of it too seriously, just go from there.